For week one of the front-end engineering course, we're asked to create a web page using only HTML. So the home page is to be called index.html, and then we'll have at least 3 pages with links to navigate between them, and we should have links on each of the pages to navigate to each of the other pages. So I've done this by using nav elements on each of my pages to describe the navigation section. There's a horizontal rule separating out the nav section. And then each one is going to have an anchor element with the href pointing to the other corresponding pages. So I have my main, which is going to be index.html. I have a page for each one of my dogs. I have a page for Roscoe. That's going to point back to the index page and to his sister's page, Raina. And then on Raina's page, it's going to point also back to the index page and then back to Roscoe. So the way this looks running on our main page here, I can click on one of the links to go to a shameless photo dump of Roscoe. I can click to return home. I can click on the other link to go to a shameless photo dump of Roscoe's sister Raina. From Raina, I can click to return home. And then from Roscoe's page, I can click to go to Raina's page. And from Raina's page, I can click to go back to Roscoe's page. The other requirements for the assignment were to have 2 different size headers, a list, 3 images, a table, and a form. So for the headers, if I look at the very top of my page, the Maniacs of Riverbend, Riverbend is my home neighborhood. You can see in my header section, I have an H1 tag centered with the words, the Maniacs of Riverbend. A little bit further down in the page, when I start giving my lists and forms, each of those are labeled with an H2, which is slightly smaller than the H1. So here's my unordered list and my ordered list. The only difference is you can see the ordered list is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, where the unordered is bullet. They're very similar in how you build them. You have the unordered list is going to use a UL element for unordered list, and then its children are going to all be list elements with whatever we're putting in the list. The ordered list is going to be OL for ordered list, and then the list elements. For the form, the parent element is the form element. I've placed each section in a div just to separate them out, make them a little bit nicer without having the advantage of CSS. So we have the label gives the description, and then I'm using the placeholder attribute to do an autofill to do a starter value. You gotta give a hint of what they should go in there. So I can hit, fill these out. So say Bob Barker b@b.com. If you have a question, you can have a drop down for Roscoe Raina that comes from my div with my select and my options. And then I also have a button with my input type of submit. So I can do a question like, for Roscoe, how big is he? Well, he's 100 pounds. When I click submit, I don't have any JavaScript right now, so this is just going to add this to URL params based off of my value is submit. Later on with JavaScript, you can create the submit button to do pretty much whatever method you want to wire up. Then finally, below my form is my table. Tables are described with a table element. I have a caption that's also an H2 tag. Table caption goes here, and then I have the table head, which is in bold, with table head elements describing each of the table head sections, and then the table body with table rows and the data for each of the rows. The images that you see on all these pages are all done with image tags. The source points to the file path within the project, so you can see this is going to images in my project. I have an images folder and then a folder with images of both pups, and so both pups banner is going to bring me the image of the 2 dogs sleeping on the couch.